Every one of you watching this screen, look out.
Anything can happen in the next half hour.
What did I tell you about cartoons?
They've got a lot of brains, and they've got a lot of chutzpah.
Tell me how comic books make you feel, Dave.
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious, and don't call me Shirley.
Hello, this is Frantz Kantor here, cartoonist, illustrator, ToonTalker, and I'm here with...
I'm Jim Bridges, and I'm the founder of the Australian Cartoon Museum.
Right.
And here we are in downtown Docklands. Snigger, snigger, snigger.
Are you feeling brave?
Am I feeling brave?
Mm-hmm. This is The Art of Brave. This is Disney Pixar's Brave. The Art of... by Jenny LaRue, prefaced by John Lasseter, of course, forward by Brenda Chapman and Mark Andrews.
And it's a Pixar Disney...
And it's a chronicle book.
Is it a chronicle book?
Yeah.
It is a chronicle book.
So
all this stuff.
This film came out about 5 years ago. And it was a very, very cool Pixar film. A little bit different to the normal cartoony fare that they want to produce. And of course she became instantly a Disney princess, which is controversial in and of itself.
Yeah. Is she the first red-headed Disney princess? Because she's mostly all blonde or...
Yeah, probably. Yeah. So the way that...
In Australia they call them rangers, which is from orangutans.
Orangutans, oranges. Yeah. So
no, that's red.
Orange
that's
tangs.
red. That's red.
Yeah, well,
even I can see that.
Okay, so this is like exploring in a storybook fashion different sort of visual expressions of the film, trying to get a handle on what's important, what's the central narrative, because a lot of Pixar films are written from a very simple premise, and then they're explored visually, and then the script is sort of developed after the visuals.
Well, we have to go to the clan. So
Pixar...
Is it Scottish or is it Irish? Scottish or Irish?
Scottish. So Pixar and Disney have been exploring ethnic stories, because a lot of ethnic stories like Moana, for example, have a very rich moral to the tale.
But this
is also part of that.
They also want the people from Hawaii to go see it, and they also want all the people in China to go see Milan, and they also want to see all the people in.
Well, I don't know whether that's
Scotland.
true, but I don't think that's true.
Do you think they're running out of myths?
I think
they're running out of myths.
No, look, in their search for story, they go back to the myths and legends.
Well, of course, that's where they all come from.
So myths and legends from the islands, from China,
from Pilcher,
from
nice drawing
from Scotland. So these are development drawings of the character, and from these they spring the strong character designs for the movie itself. So, this is just beautiful stuff.
They're a bit too pretty. They're a bit too pretty.
They're just exploring different aspects. That just reminds me of actually the
Elfin.
girl from
Elfin, like.
Yes, the girl from what was it?
Dark Crystal.
No, Disney film.
You don't look at Disney films. You don't look at Disney
live action films. This was with Sean Connery. Played in a film.
Sean Connery did a Disney movie.
He did a Disney movie, yes.
He did Darby O'Gill and Little People.
And the little girl in that, the little redhead girl that he fell in love with in that film,
had black hair.
Did she? I think she had red hair, but anyway, that was her. She was also in.
Have you seen Darby O'Gill and Little People?
Yeah, and she was also...
The Banshee's the best thing in it. It scared the shit out of all these kids for 10 years.
I was going to say, I don't know the name of the actress. She died quite young, but she was also in The Castaways, I think.
She was. She was in The Castaways, and she was also in Swiss Family Robinson.
That's the one.
And she was also in Third Man on the Mountain.
Yeah, okay. Okay.
And she was in the television show, and I think she might have been one of the original Musketeers. But I don't know what her bloody name is.
Yeah.
These are nice.
Mouseketeers.
What did I say? Musketeers?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I read a lot of French literature.
Right.
I got caught up, So these are...
Dumas.
These
are mood boards.
Mood boards.
They're different to storyboards. They're trying to get like a sense of drama and narrative. So these are drawn and they're pinned up exactly as you see them here on the wall in the story room. And what happens is the director and a lot of people, tea lady, whatever, they come in there.
Tea lady as well.
Everybody.
They drink tea.
They
in
do.
Animation studios.
They come in and they look at these pictures, right, and they try to unravel the story or the feeling of the story. Because one thing that Pixar, and by virtue of Pixar being attached to Disney, now is Disney, is that they're very interested in the emotional telling of the story.
Well, they're the bits
and that's
I
what
like.
they're trying to build with this.
I thought it was a sunny day in Scotland.
Yeah. No. These are really. This is a narrative. So the idea is
they're setting the scene,
emotional.
They're setting the emotional scene.
Well, they're telling the story with these highly, graphic,
stratified rocks
images. Yeah. So you get
nice
a sense
stuff.
of this,
it's nice. I'd like to see these blown up actually.
Well, they're actually quite big. I wouldn't be
I know,
surprised.
but I would like to see them. I would like to see them blown up.
Yeah.
Now
so they're exploring, like every film, they explore motifs and patterns and some cultural significance, and they're trying to get a sense of believability into this.
Celtic donuts.
It's part of world building.
Celtic
right? So
donuts.
all studios do that now because of Miyazaki. Obviously, it's the master world builder.
Yeah, he does it. You got to follow him. He's the best.
Yeah. So even Disney now do world building like this. And in reference to Miyazaki.
Look at that. So, these are the photos they all took?
Yeah, some of these are the photographs, reference photographs of different landforms.
That's a great photo, isn't it? Isn't that a great photo? It's telling a story, that photo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gee, they have colour photography in this film. Okay.
So these are some of the sketches.
So all the artists go off for a holiday and they sit around drawing everything.
Well, yeah.
They take photos and draw everything.
This is some of my favourites, the Picts. I love stories of the Picts, it's the Pictish symbols.
What do you know about the Picts?
Brand MacMorn.
What about the Celts?
I don't like
They lasted the longest.
I don't like them. The Gaels, the Celts. I think most people, Celtic is sort of like a general term that describes a lot of these.
Yeah, because
cultures.
they lasted long.
But the Picts are the ones that I liked.
Really? You just picked them out of history, did you?
No, Brand MacMorn, I think.
The Heelands. Hakken de Hoekladder. As my great-great-great-grandfather used to say, didn't pick scabs, they bleed. Okay.
Beautiful stuff. This is lovely illustration by Nelson Burrell. So, they're trying to get a handle on the feeling of the environment.
Yes.
So this is what you need to do. You need to explore it, and all of these pictures are a way of imbuing the production with this sense of place.
You can't really go into a film
of
like an animated feature.
Isn't this lovely?
And that's set in a certain context unless you do this. You have to walk through the landscape.
This is acrylic. This is Steve Pilcher.
Yeah.
And he's done a lot of these beautiful acrylic paintings, these sort of like snapshots of elements of the environment. Oh, look at that! That's magnificent. That's Steve Pilcher again. Yeah, I think that's digital. So he just loves to explore these lovely shapes of the environment of the world, creating this world that's so rich. And when you watch the film, you're sort of overwhelmed almost. If you see it, should see it on a big screen because it's it's really
Scotland
lovely,
as a country was completely forested, and they'd lost most of their forest by 1,000 years ago because they chopped down
for the Romans.
No, they chopped down stuff and they smelted stuff to make bronze and all that stuff, and because it's so bloody cold. But they didn't really fire forest, and so it's a very bleak landscape.
Yeah.
I'm glad you did that.
So
this is
this is the village, the
Castle
festival.
Dunbruch.
Well, I don't know. I can't pronounce Scottish. But you can see, his beautiful.
Can you do
Steve
a Jewish Scottish accent?
No. I actually knew somebody who was Jewish from Scotland, and he had a very thick Scottish accent.
Did he?
Anyway, Steve Pilcher. This is pencil, right? This is absolutely
There's
beautiful.
a lot of him here.
It's lovely.
He dominated the landscape.
Paintings, and I think he's responsible for this too. Am I right in
Well,
saying so?
he
Steve
did that
this.
early one of her.
Yeah,
That's Steve Pilcher.
yeah. So this is a beautiful testament to his artistic
Did he do them
skill.
all?
So yes,
He
he did
did.
all of these. Magnificent storyteller, visual storyteller. It's beautiful stuff. This is a lovely Nelson Bowl did this
plan
beautiful
and a model.
little model plan.
Yeah.
Trying to get these, reference shots for Steve. Steve did this too. So with the low sun catching the castle Loch, whatever it is.
Around the ragged rocks, the ragged rascals ran.
Yes, and they even asked the great Mike Mignola of Hellboy fame to create some little sketches.
Has he done any comics set in Scotland?
Yeah, well, he would have done.
He would have done, yeah. So we're getting closer to the end product, although this looks like a game graphic, doesn't it?
So the standing stones that create an important part of the story in the film, and of course you've got his great. This is Steve Pilcher.
That's not a standing stone.
Noah Clock, and Steve Pilcher, of course. Steve's got this beautiful,
Atmospheric.
Yeah. Lighting and.
Ooh, these are
dramas.
nice. Look at these.
Beautiful. Yeah, so standing stones, like Stonehenge or any of the ones throughout Europe.
They're all over Europe.
Yeah, well, because of the Celtic tradition, they came from, a wide area. So they had a lot of these patterns and things in them which have some, cultural significance in Ireland and Scotland especially. Beautiful stuff. So it's a sense of magic, right? So this is the witch's hut.
Good on you, Mike. That's a great hut, isn't it?
Yes, it's a very
Done a nice
Hobbit-like.
job, yeah.
And of course, these sort of trolls. Of course,
Yeah,
the design of trolls comes from this tradition.
This sort of drawing, look at it. It's Steve as well.
Nordic
He's following somebody here.
Trolls.
Yeah, but the sort of drawing he's doing in this particular drawing is following somebody. Oh, look at this. Look at that.
Yeah, they're lovely.
Beautiful.
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah.
This is Louis Gonzalez, who is, of course, from the Disney School, and he does these beautiful, lovely characters, animal characters especially.
Steve's really putting his print on this book, isn't he? Kith, Kin and Bears.
Yeah, this is Noah Klosek.
Here's our old mate.
This Carter Goodrich, of course,
Carter
who
Goodrich.
did Open Season.
Yeah.
And he's a consummate designer.
Wonderful.
Carter loves shape and
Yeah.
has this beautiful
Has this wonderful balance.
crosshatch.
Has this wonderful
effect
balance
of
about it
creating
too.
texture.
Look at all these. Has this wonderful balance about it.
Yeah, and also expressions.
Yeah.
So he's really good at exploring that. This is some of the early. This is Steve Pilcher's work. This is when they're getting more into the character, and exploring her personality a little bit more to straighten
like
the
that.
book.
Yeah, like that very much.
Yeah.
Very simple. Who did that one?
Tony Fusil.
Lovely.
And because it's 3D, you have to create this, the color schemes and the clothing, the textures are able to reflect leather and fur, and all of this stuff. hair was a big feature. This red hair had this sort of, I think, the same difficulty as what's that Disney film with the hair lady, Rapunzel, let down your hair. There you go. That. So hair is a big feature. It's one of the special effects of this film.
Well, it represents her wildness, doesn't it? I mean, this is her mum.
This is
all
Carter
controlled.
again, Carter Goodrich.
Yeah, lovely bloke.
Steve Pilcher, of course, is now getting more into the characters.
Carter, put out a book, please. Put out a book.
Matt Nolte here, some beautiful work.
Nice. Harrods.
Yeah.
Steve again.
Yep.
Good, isn't he?
Carter. Matt Nolte.
Yeah. He'd have a few beers left over from open season, wouldn't he?
These are lovely. Sort of creating these sort of Celtic knotwork, and then they put in like little symbols of the character.
Yeah, and the sword.
Awesome.
I mean, these look like eyes, and then you see this,
Yeah, this is King Fergus.
Well, that's Ballyconnelly, isn't it? Ballyconnelly. There were a couple of actual Scotsmen in this. Craig Ferguson plays a character, and so does Billy Connolly.
So these are the triplets who sort of they become the three bears. So
There we are. You have to draw the skeleton first. This is how I think we all feel under lockdown, don't you?
stunning. Angus is the horse. It's not the dinner.
It's a beautiful
It's not
horse.
the steak.
Beautiful.
It's a big Shire horse. A big
strong, like Clydesdale type horse.
The wisps are little fairy sprites.
magic
Could we just sort of explain what these are here? These are some concept sculpts of the little wisps, the little spirit creatures. Now these are like it's almost a homage to Miyazaki's Princess Mononoke with the little characters.
Those sprites, yeah.
Yeah.
Except these are basically based on the seed that,
yeah.
you know, the helicopter seeds we used to call them.
Yeah, it would have been nice to see some Brian Froud designs in this.
Yeah, well, see, I
would have loved that.
This is out of
Miyazaki.
This is out of
Spirited Away.
no. This is out of
Spirited Away. Dark Crystal.
Dark Crystal, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, the witch in that.
I would
Remember,
have liked to have
she
seen
keeps
that.
taking her eye around. Well,
But I
they're all
sus-
frowned. They're all frowned.
Froud, yeah. I suspect though that Brian Froud's very, very iconic and particular, so that they're probably a bit concerned that he would look like Dark Crystal too.
Yeah. Well, no, but everyone has to come up with their own, take on it.
If I was director,
Looks like
that would have
Sean
been
Connery
my,
on a bad day.
If I was director, that would have been my concern. I would have used Brian Froud if I wanted to create something as rich
There's a joke.
as a Dark Crystal.
Hitchcock's MacGuffin,
Yeah, so there's some more
and that's based
digital
on
illustrations of the characters.
Braveheart, they paint their face blue.
This is probably painted after they do the rough sketches and create a first, untextured sculpt, a digital sculpt. So they'll give out the first go of that, and the artists then create these digital illustrations based on the geometry.
God, this guy's good.
This is Mike Mignola again. Again, he has a very particular style. Like, you would.
Well, I mean, that's a classic face of his, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like Brian Froud. He's so distinctive that he would take over the film if you got him to do that. Carter Goodrich has got a little bit more. It could be argued that it's not. It could fit in more with the production with the other artists. So it's a big film.
So we're getting towards the final products. So
Yeah, these are the sculpts. They do what they do with these. They do clay sculpts, and then they do production illustrations based on the clay sculpts usually. So they kind of get closer and closer and closer to the look and feel of the final product. This is a good way of how to instill with everybody, the drawers and the 3D modelers and everybody else, a good sense of the volumes and the shapes, because the guys that push clay around have an infinitely better concept. They don't do T-poses, you see. You sculpt in the three-quarter angle, you sculpt in the round, you're sculpting action and personality and texture.
Do you think...
When you do 3D, you don't start with this, you start with that insipid T-pose.
Do you think that if you were putting together the greatest animation school of all time, that you would teach sculpture?
You have to teach sculpture, because if you don't, you're not going to get these shapes. They don't automatically come out of the geometry.
But there's so much...
So you've got to look at this and say, right, when I'm doing the digital geometry, the character has to have this pose, right? Eventually, when you put the rigs in and you start.
But there's so much specialisation in animation.
3D animation, especially has a lot of specialisation.
Yeah.
That's very dramatic. It's who did that? Steve Pilcher again.
Yeah, he's
digital
dominating
painting.
this book.
Look how he's done the light and shades. He's a master of this drama, this sort of dramatic. This is an incredible man versus bear. You can't get any more dramatic than that.
There's a little bit
any culture, American Indian or European,
Freshetta in that. You reckon a little bit of Freshetta in that?
Well, in that it's a frozen moment of action.
But it's
that,
softer.
That
it's
ultimate
softer.
arc
very soft
of danger and purpose. This is a famous scene. This is the storyboard, right? This is famous archery scene.
Yeah. This is also out of Princess Mononoke.
Yeah,
that scene where he.
It is.
Yeah.
And Robin Hood probably. It would be. Yeah, look, if I was storyboarding that, I would watch Princess Mononoke and I'd probably watch Robin Hood. Why not? And it'd come up with something that is powerful like this, showing the threading of the yarrow, and then the
also
pullback.
She's riding a horse plus her hair, all that
that's
stuff.
beside the point. It's all it's all focused on the actual the action of the bow. And the potential, the tension and stuff, and the clarity and the focus. These are some of the boards these are like first drafts. These are like first drafts of the board. Generally, in production, you'll do tonal boards like this, so you get a clear idea of what's foreground and background.
Yeah, like this.
Yeah, but sometimes these are probably changes to the script. So they might have done a first pass like this, and then they put, let's do this and put changes in. So they haven't had a chance to tone it yet. But here you see the full tonal effect, and this is how strong, boards that are done digitally, they have this incredible. All the layout is purposefully created.
You reckon they're better done digitally, storyboards?
It doesn't matter. It's the same thing.
Yeah, I know, but it's just...
Are they
quicker to do? Are they quicker to do?
Well, I don't like this sort of effect. I like very simple.
This is straight
storyboards.
Out of Robin Hood. He does.
Yeah, well, that's a trope, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, you forgive them for putting that in because you have to, in a way.
Yeah.
So a film has so many boards. You get different people doing the boards. So they usually do different scenes.
It was a popular film, wasn't it? I mean, it made money, didn't it?
It made money back instantly.
Yeah.
So it was an instant success.
Yeah.
2015. So you see the different range of boards here and how important they are. So some of them have more comedic influence. Some of them
Drama.
have more cinema influence. Some of them more graphic design influence. So there's a lot of a film language that's set up in the board stage. Beautiful. storyboards that are laid out in the animatic. The animatic is the first visual representation of the film, so you can see the dialogue and the music and the special effects or whatever, to whatever stage, and then they're presented with a slideshow essentially of these films, and that's the first time you get a chance to see a filmic look, because all boards are intended to be sequential. Obviously, they're intended to be in a film, but you never get that feeling until you actually set them in a timeline and turn them into a film. I quite like the action here, but I feel there's a sense of there's some of the action in Lord of the Rings by Ralph Bakshi, which I quite like. I think because it's very, very contrasty and dangerous and deadly
and dark.
Yeah, and I felt that
I felt that
if I was the director, I would have asked people to watch Lord of the Rings.
Okay.
Bakshi, not the other one.
Ralphie Baby.
Because the battle scenes in that were very, very contrasty and dangerous. They just felt dangerous.
Also, because of the technique he used, you couldn't see that much. Yeah, you couldn't see that much detail, and it was scary because you don't know. What's going on? The noise and the sound, the voices and stuff. You couldn't see enough detail, so it scared you. It scared you more because you couldn't see enough what's going on.
It's proof that animators make great filmmakers. They make great film directors because they understand the visual language.
Yeah, of course. How's that done?
It's just somebody with a cigarette
on digital. Yeah.
I don't know. These are color mood boards. So color mood boards are they're creating a sense of the emotional impact of the stories, the visual stories.
When did they start doing mood boards?
From Spielberg's Prince of Egypt. That's when they started.
Well, because I tell you what, because the Prince of Egypt
had an idea of them before.
Colour is a character.
Well, he got that idea.
Colour is a character.
Well, he got that idea from Sleeping Beauty.
Well, I tell you what,
and Pinocchio.
Yeah,
but he wasn't aware of. No one was aware of this level of management of colour as an emotional story, emotional narrative of colour, mood and colour. Until Spielberg actually did it with Prince of Egypt.
I don't know why more people don't look at it, Prince of Egypt. I think it's one of the greatest animated films ever made.
Yeah,
the colour, how they show the passage of time. I mean, you even put up with the songs, which is quite a bit of a thing to do.
Well, Ariel, Disney, came out at the end of that era.
Yeah. Okay.
This is really interesting. What's that? Snow. Okay, cool. This is a very interesting book. So,
set in ancient Scotland and brimming with adventure, Brave explores the world of harsh and beautiful landscape, dangerous spells and deadly foes and deeply human characters. Illuminated with hundreds of pieces of concept art, the art of Brave offers a behind-the-scenes peek into production of this groundbreaking film. Well,
so this is like these sort of eyes come, that glowing eyes, very, very dramatic.
They used a bit. They
illustration.
They used quite
like Frazetta.
Yeah. There is a
So there's a lot of love put into this and investment in the culture and things like that. It's there's not enough myth in it for my liking. I would have loved either Mignola or Brian Frow to have designed it. I love these guys, don't get me wrong, but I think if you wanted fairies and magic and things like that, you get the experts that do magic.
You got to go deeper. You got to go deeper.
So Guillermo del Toro would have been beautiful as a director.
Yeah. Because he did the Mignola films, didn't he?
Yeah. But I would have loved for him to direct an animated film.
Those Irish films are good.
Yes.
They go deep.
Well, there you go. That's the same thing. You invest in the culture more, the art of the culture. But this is an interesting book, and of course, you know, most people I think have seen it and love it. It's great to see a princess with such you know, brave, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, it came out.
Who breaks the princess mold? Or does she?
They all break the princess mold, but she does it in the name of the film.
Ah.
So they're all brave.
In the name of the
she
film.
does it in the name of the film.
Okay.
So she's a warrior princess.
She's a warrior. Yeah, she's a warrior.
In the tradition of
She got a
what's
mum
that lady
worried.
on the
She got a
coins?
mum worried, that's for sure.
English lady on the coins.
Boadicea.
Boadicea.
Yeah, she was toughy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh well, this is
The Art of Pixar.
this and
brave.
This is not so brave Frantz Kantor
And the very chicken-hearted Jim Bridges.
saying, "We'll see you around next time."
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Thanks for the sour persimmons, cousin.